Good morning. Welcome to Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis. Good to have you with us this morning. We're back. That's right. Good to have you with us. We'll see how this works this time. But we've got a half hour of your HCC news and information. Okay, once again, we're going to go back to my co-host, Andrea Bonner is joining us this morning. Andrea, real quickly, I wanted to highlight the show that you do with your Center of Excellence. So maybe you can tell us about that because it broadcasts monthly on Facebook Live and then also on HCCTV.
Absolutely. We have a show called HCC Lifestyle and Culture where we feature all the great things that we're doing in our COE, from fashion to culinary and pastry to hospitality. And, you know, we talk about a lot of things in that area, but we're also open to having guests in as well. So if you've seen it and you want to come on and talk about some of those, you know, some of the things that you're doing, we'd love to have you.
That's right. So you can catch that, as mentioned, on Facebook Live, and we'll be talking about that during the show. We'll also highlight it. Okay, Andrea, we want to welcome everybody watching us live this morning, but they can also catch us in social media and on HCCTV.
Absolutely. We're also on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and on HCCTV at noon, 5 and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday. So there is absolutely no reason why you should miss our show.
No reason why you should miss the show. Okay, next, we're going to introduce our second guest who you'll be talking with, Andrea. Arneisha Sadler was at our convocation. She has a great story about never giving up. Arneisha, good to see you.
Hey, good morning. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Now, you spoke at convocation. You were a big hit. So we're going to be talking to you again to hear all about your story and your business. So stick around. We'll be with you in about 10 minutes.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to kick things off right now. You know, on Friday, we have an employee significance breakfast. So we won't be on the air with this show, but we will be recognizing some of our special employees here at Houston Community College. And one of them is Loris Bradshaw. She's with the business program, business technology. She's program coordinator, and she's been with HCC, get this, 45 years. Welcome to the show, Loris. Good to have you with us. First, we're very happy to celebrate your many years of service and dedication. It's going to be a big day on Friday for you. Let's talk about, first off, how did you begin working with HCC?
Good morning. I began working with HCC as an adjunct professor in 1975. At that time, we were having classes over in all of the high schools. We even had classes at Rice University. And I just happened to be working at Rice University and found out that there was an opportunity to teach an anatomy and physiology lab.
So you started with anatomy and physiology. Now you're with business technology. How did that transition take place? Because that's like polar opposite.
Exactly. That was my experience with it too, of being directly opposite of each other. With my skills in technology, I had a keen interest in learning all I could about technology. And so back in 1985, I was able to convince my supervisor that I needed a computer. And of course, it was one of those compact portable computers, right, with Lotus 1, 2, 3. And it was very interesting. So I became intrigued with that. And because I have experience in the science area, it became a position became available in the business technology. But prior to that, I got my master's degree in distance learning and distant education for students. And as a result of that, that qualified me to become a part of the business technology department. But it's interesting because I see students do this all the time. You start at one point, it's when you're a kid, you say, when I grow up, I'm going to be. But that going to be can evolve. And that's what has happened to me. My career has evolved.
When you talk about distance learning back in those days, that's kind of what we're doing now as a norm, isn't it? I mean, we're doing online learning. Wasn't that like a precursor to where we are now?
Yes, it was more like a correspondence learning, so to speak. But we have come full-fledged, and now we have a star-honored online learning here at HCC. And I'm happy to be a part of that.
Tell us a bit about the business technology program and what it offers.
Okay, the business technology program has many different avenues that students can take for obtaining either a certificate or an associate degree. The certificate program really provides the students with the skills that they need to immediately land a job, whereas the AAS degree will allow them to be able to matriculate to the four-year university. And I'm proud to say that we have an accreditation for our program. And as a matter of fact, the business COE has this accreditation across programs, but our program was one in particular that worked toward getting this Academic Council of Business Schools and Programs certification. And that was such an honor to have received that.
What's kept you at HCC all of these years? Surely there's been an opportunity to come up and where you may go somewhere else, or you're thinking, oh, wow, it might be better over there. But what's kept you at HCC?
Well, what has kept me here is that because I found that HCC is an excellent place for teaching and learning. Not only do I do the facilitation of learning, but I also learn from my students because they come into the classroom with so much prior knowledge that I try to capitalize on that prior knowledge that they have. And so in an effort to facilitate the subject, I rely on their prior learning. Say, for instance, I'm teaching a medical terminology class, and I want to teach them about the body system. Everybody lives in a house, most people do. So I have them to equate the body systems to the house, like the plumbing or your bedroom, your kitchen, and that sort of thing. So that has kept me here. And I love the diversity of HCC. I've developed relationships with a lot of people, and a lot of these people don't look or speak like me, but I've learned a lot about the different foods, places, and family traditions. And you can tell I'm a foodie.
Loris, what's the biggest change you've noticed in the college over the last 45 years?
Well, what I've noticed is the growth. I've noticed the growth because when I began, I started out at an elementary school, Wilson Elementary School. That was where I was housed when I first began teaching here at HCC. And then later I moved to the Cy-Fair campus, which was on Tanner Road. So that's really historical. And what I've noticed is that now we have more buildings. We have a different, the students are basically, a student is a student.
Yeah.
But basically, I've noticed that the changes have been more in the age, because when I first began, it was more like for the older population, maybe 30-ish. And now I'm beginning to see students who are right out of high school. I'm seeing more of those. And then I'm also teaching in the dual credit program too. So that also has changed since I became employed at HCC. But I think that the idea that we have come into the 21st century and we no longer have chalkboards. We have whiteboards. Some places we don't have any boards. We just do things virtually. And I find it very interesting that we now have a home of our own. And I love that ability to say that I feel a part of HCC. And also I can see the transitions that HCC has made. When I began, we only had one college. And then it was broken down into 6 colleges, and then later to 5. And so I've watched the transition of all of this going on within HCC. And I just marvel. This is just a wonderful place to work. And it's a wonderful place to have friends. And it's just wonderful. I love it. And my family is always asking me, when are you going to retire? Well, I'm going to retire when I'm no longer challenged. When I don't want to learn something new, then I'll retire.
Right. Well, Loris, it's employees like you that keep us inspired about HCC, and we congratulate you on your landmark 45 years, and we thank you for your service over the years and your dedication to the college and the students.
Thank you, Todd. I appreciate that.
All right. We'll see you on Friday. All right. Congratulations.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. Goodbye.
Loris Bradshaw, Business Technology Program Coordinator, and a 45-year Employee Significance honoree. We'll have more information on her in the post after the show. Thanks, Loris. All right, we're going to turn things over to Andrea. Andrea, while the interview was going on, another co-host joined us. So, I don't know what his deal is. He's
what a cutie.
Yeah, he's kind of freaking out. But I'm going to turn things over to you because you've got a very special guest who was a big hit at Convocation.
Absolutely. I was just going to say that. I almost forgot that she was at Convocation. We were all so moved by Miss Arneisha Sadler, who is our next guest. She is the founder and the CEO of Emeniss Call Center. So welcome, Arneisha.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Andrea. Thank you for having me.
We're so glad to have you. So we don't want to bury the lead, but besides being a part of our HCC programs, you have won several Houston Business Journal awards, which is huge. Whenever you hear Houston Business Journal, that is a huge deal. So tell us about some of those awards.
Well, yes, thank you so much. So last year in 2021, I won 40 Under 40 Award and the Women Who Mean Business Award. And this year with the Houston Business Journal, I won Most Admired CEO of 2022. And I also had the opportunity to serve as one of the judge for the Women Who Mean Business Awards for this year as well. So last year I got the Women Who Mean Business Award, and then this year I served as a judge.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I'm sure those are the first of many, many awards that you're going to get in your career. So congratulations on those. So now let's get down to business. I love the tagline that you have for your company. We take care of your calls while you take care of business. And taglines are always so hard to come up with. So that's a really good tagline. So tell us how you started your business, Emeniss Call Center.
Yes, well, thank you. So in 2017, I was at a domestic violence shelter for homeless victims. And from there, I moved into a motel and I was looking for a job and couldn't find a job. And so God gave me this crazy idea to start my own business. And so I'm thinking, well, I don't know anything about running a business. Where do I start? What I do? Who's going to help me? And so I just happened to look over to my right hand. And that was this little snaggletooth 6-year-old little girl named Emerald, my daughter, who was there. And so that's how it actually got started. And that's where the name comes from. Emerald is Emeniss, and my nickname is Nisi. So it was just my daughter and me, and that's how we came up with Emeniss Call Center.
That is a great story and very admirable that, you were in that situation and thought, let me do this, while trying to find a job and you came up with your own thing. So that's really great. So tell us about the early years of your business before the pandemic. Everything now is before, post-pandemic, pre-pandemic. So tell us about everything before the pandemic.
Yes. Well, like I said, I started October of 2017. I attended a SCORE meeting and SCORE told me about HCC business plan competition. And I met David and Sandra Louvier and Rebecca Schultz and Lolita at a financial workshop. And I haven't looked back ever since. So that's pretty much how I got started with HCC and all the wonderful entrepreneur programs that HCC has to offer.
That's really good. Yes, SCORE in that business plan competition. I've actually been a judge for that business plan competition. I wasn't a judge for yours, but I probably would have scored you very highly. So that's really good to hear. So how did the pandemic affect the target markets that you serve now?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. The pandemic actually was very beneficial to us. What I thought was a setback, it was actually a come up. So there's this thing, quality over quantity. So before the pandemic, I had several small businesses that we were serving and helping out. But during the pandemic, many of the small businesses had to cut back on expenses and they were no longer able to include our services in their budget. But the quality part of it is that the larger companies and government officials and Fortune 500 companies, as people begin to work from home or work remotely, they need our services more because their call volume went up and their waiting time went up as well because more people were at home and calling them. So there was a drop in quantity as far as small businesses, but it put us in a position where we were able to pursue more lucrative contract with Fortune 500 companies and government entities. So
that's good. That's good. I said that I've been saying, although the pandemic has been bad, it has presented a lot of opportunities for people. So that's good to hear that some other windows have opened up. So you mentioned that you were an alum of the of several HCC entrepreneurial programs. Which ones of those have you done or attended?
That's a great question. I think it's more so which ones I have not attended.
Exactly.
So I've been a part of the HCC Business Plan Competition, the Matches Max School of Selling, the HCC Small Business Cohorts, and also the Women Wednesdays Open for Business with Tamla Austin. And I think that's what I can think of right now, but I don't think it's any one of them that I have not taken advantage of. They're great opportunities. Even after I started my business, they have continued to help me manage and maintain, not just start my business, but you want a thriving business. And I continue to go back into those programs, even ones that I've already completed. If the door is open and I have the availability time, I will go back through that course or that program again, because there's always something new to learn. And with the new guests and entrepreneurs that share their wealth of knowledge. So, yeah.
Good. Well, it sounds like you've got a lot of great things going on. So tell me what's next. What's next for Emeniss Call Center?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. Well, I'm happy to hear that we are part of a major project regarding the new build of the LBJ Hospital. And so I'm super excited about that project because it's a 5 to 7 year deal. And also we are part of the community outreach and engagement. And it would also put us in a position where we're providing job opportunities for underserved communities. So that's what we are working on right now.
That's really good. And I know we're about to wind down time, and I know giving back is a huge part of your future plans. How do you plan to incorporate giving back?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So pretty much all of the organizations and programs that I have been a part of, I also participate in, whether it's leadership, whether it's being an advocate for the program. So that's definitely how I give back, and I really enjoyed. And the other thing that I forgot to mention with HCC is the A-Leaf High School. I know I'm probably saying around A-Leaf High School Early College. So I was happy to be honored to be one of the mentors for that program, as well with the JA program. So
that is awesome. Well, as Todd said, and I'm glad he reminded me that we saw you at Convocation, and it was so wonderful to see you there and to have the opportunity to interview you today. It's been great, and I wish you a ton more success than you've already had. I know you've got a lot of great things in store for you. So we just really want to thank you, Arneisha Sadler, who is the founder and the CEO of Emeniss Call Center. And we've got some links and additional information in the post after the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you both. Great story. Okay, let's get to a few news and announcements before we wrap up today's show. As we've mentioned earlier a couple of times, Friday we're off. Not really off. We're still working. We still got things to do. It's just there's no up to the minute. We're going to be at the Employee Significance Breakfast because our HCCTV staff will be participating in this Friday's Employee Significance Breakfast. We want our audience to know that there will be no up to the minute that morning. So we'll be back on Monday for Mental Health Monday. So tomorrow we got a show. I think Shardae's here tomorrow. She's running the show. She runs a very tight ship. Just warning you about that. Shardae will be here tomorrow. She's got a great show. Then Friday we're off. Monday we're back. Okay. There's also a very important event that's happening next Tuesday as well, Andrea.
Is that the suicide?
Yeah, suicide gatekeeper.
The suicide gatekeeper training. HCC's Counseling and Ability Services is going to conduct an online training program for students, faculty, and staff on QPR of suicide. That's question, persuade, and refer of suicide prevention. Those are the 3 steps that anyone can learn to help prevent suicide. And I've actually been through this training. The signs of crisis are all around us. And just like CPR, QPR is an emergency response to someone in crisis. This is going to be 11 a.m. to noon on Tuesday, September 20th, online via Zoom. We'll have more information in our post after the show, so please register for that.
Okay, Friday Math Jams are back. That's right, the Friday Math Jam sessions, which are free study sessions hosted by the full-time math department faculty members. They are live virtual tutoring sessions where students can ask questions, get homework help, improve your study skills, keep on track, all types of things. All current HCC math students are welcome to attend. There's no need to register. It's online. You literally just click it, join them, get your questions answered, and get some extra knowledge. We'll have a link in our social media post after the show. And we've got the foundation drive going on right now, Andrea.
The foundation payroll deduction campaign. I hope everyone that's listening to us is signed up for that, but all HCC employees are encouraged to consider a personal gift to this campaign. If you've got tons of money that you need to unload before the end of the year to get that tax deduction, do it with HCC. You can split your donation up to 2 funds of your choosing or opt to contribute to area of greatest need, and know that your donation is making a difference on your behalf. So select payroll deduction or make a one-time gift to make your donation on behalf of HCC student success. Our campaign dates are now, anytime between now and October 31st. And again, we'll have a link in our post after the show for you to sign up.
Okay, I want to get to that point where I have tons of money to unload before the end of the year. I got to get there. I'm going to work on that the rest of the year.
As do I.
Yeah. All right. There's a faculty exhibition going on right now, the works of adjunct faculty on Angel Castellan, called Self-Fragmentation, is being featured in the faculty art exhibition at HCC's Northwest College. Consisting of works on paper and paintings, it features fragments of the artist's own identity through self-portraiture and imagery taken from everyday life. It's going on through November the 4th at HCC's Northwest Spring Branch Gallery. We'll have information in our post after the show. If you want to take classes, sign up. Fall's already begun. That ship has sailed, but you can still get classes in, Andrea.
Absolutely. Shorter classes. We've got classes starting actually on Monday. So you can, again, as Todd said, register for our shorter, more intensive sessions with the same course options, online, anytime, online on the schedule. We've got hybrid, in-person, hybrid lab, any kind of way you can come to any classes at HCC. For registration to all HCC programs, you're going to go to hccs.edu/apply.
For most of your courses in consumer arts, is that going to be where they can take the shorter classes, or do y'all have mainly cohorts?
Mainly cohorts, but most of our classes start in August, but we do have a lot of fashion merchandising classes starting for our second start courses, some hospitality starting. But again, you've got tons of options. If you miss that first deadline, we get calls all the time from students who are like, we're trying to get in, and they can get in. So, and I know that's across the board with all of the programs at HCC.
Yeah, so don't give up. That's the main thing.
Absolutely.
Get registered. You can still have time to do so and get some credit hours before the semester ends. You got lots of time to do that, but register now. Okay, on tomorrow's show, we've got Janet Pena of Coleman's Pharmacy Tech program. She'll return to fill us in on what students are up to right now. And it's Thursday, Family Fun Day.
We'll visit again with the Pacific War Museum in Fredericksburg, which has a big event lined up this weekend. I've never been there, so that sounds like fun.
It is cool. All right. We are going to wrap up today's show. Thanks for sticking around with us. We went a little bit longer today. Andrea, always good to see you.
You too, Todd. Thank you for having me again.
All right, and thank all of you for joining us. Tomorrow, Sharday Campbell will be here hosting the show, so make sure you join her. I'll be back on Monday. Friday's our Employee Significance Breakfast. We got a lot lined up. Have a great day.
Bye, guys.
The faculty at HCC represents the best of the city. They're committed to getting our students to their goals. HCC, for everyone, anytime, anyway.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Oh, boy.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Being prepared is a part of who you are, but it's especially important in the case of a disaster. Be informed about possible emergencies in your area. Make a plan that covers where you go in an emergency. Build a kit with the things you need to survive. There's no one more capable of planning for your situation than you. Start your plan today. Go to ready.gov/myplan.
Where's your emergency?
Everyone's on their way. What happened?
Your friend's not
She's dead? Please get my mom and dad. Oh my God!
Natural disasters are a fact of life in the U.S. And between activities and school, chances are you won't be with your kids when they happen. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids can help your children feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.